can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. Don't you want to see the sun come up each morning? Don't you want to see the sun go down each day? Don't you want to see that little girl who loves you so? Her heart would break if you should go. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. So it seems to me like you never gonna behave yourself, since I'm not gonna do this every day. Come tomorrow, you're gonna have to save yourself. Got nothing more to say, you're not listening anyway. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away. I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you, I can't let you throw yourself away.
Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Disney Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. We're continuing on our road with Pixar, and today we are doing Toy Story 4 with Ryan Reiss, one of the guys. I met him at my first open mic, and he's still here.
Still here.
Yeah, Ryan, how you doing, man?
Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I feel like that might have been kind of a little bit of a dig. Like,
No, it's not a dig, but it's like,
and he's still here.
it's like there's a lot of people I knew at the beginning that like I'm not friends with, and I'm still friends with you. Not that we fell out, but it's just people like Dana Dude. I don't know. Well, he was on Cobra Kai, but other than that, I don't know where
He
he
went
is.
to LA. He's just, he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, and then there's other. Aren't they? Oh, well, that's a whole other story. But like, yeah, but you're still in New York. I mean, not you're very successful.
I'm hanging in, man. I'm hanging in. I think in New York City, if you can stay in New York City, you're successful. So you're by that measurement, you're successful as well.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was born here, so I've got nowhere else to go. So.
No, 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 no. New York is constantly. By the way, can we curse on this thing?
Yes, it's mainly for adult fans. So.
New York is constantly trying to shit you out every day. Every single day, New York's trying to convince you to leave. So the fact that you're still here and you're generationally here is pretty impressive.
Especially this year. This has been just the worst year.
It's been hard. Yeah, a lot of people left.
A lot of people. They're still leaving. Ryan, how long have you doing stand-up?
16 years.
Wow. All right, cool. And what got you into it, man?
I was one of those guys that just always loved comedy. Like in my house, I don't even know if this was a thing for you, but I'm from Far Rockaway, so we had a terrace. So my uncle hooked up this antenna, so we were able to steal HBO.
Mm-hmm.
They used to broadcast HBO, so we were able to steal it. And whenever a comedian came on HBO, we only had one TV. Whenever TV came on HBO, everyone shut up in my house. And
Awesome.
I guess somehow I realized, well, if I want to get anyone to listen to me, I got to do that.
Yeah. I had Comic Strip Live on Channel 5. Did you have that?
No. We had the only comedy we had was the HBO that we were stealing.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. On Friday nights in the '80s, because I remember because Channel 9 had Tales from the Dark Side, but Channel 5 after they'd have the news, they would show Comic Strip Live. It wasn't from the actual comic strip. I think it was in LA, but they called the show Comic Strip.
Hmm.
And that's where I first saw comedy. I was like, oh, I want to do this. This looks so cool. You wear a suit, and it doesn't look like you look like you have a job. You don't have a job. You're just talking to people, and that's how I fell in love with it.
Now, did you were you vocal about wanting to do it? Were you telling people like that's my dream? I want to do that.
Yeah. In high school, and someone actually, the school play they had me like write like my own scene. It was really funny, and someone in the day after was like, I think they have comedy classes at Caroline's. This was like in the '90s, and I was like, oh yeah, but then I was like, oh, it was like $400, but like, I wonder how things
Who
would have
taught
been.
it? Who taught it?
What?
Do you know who taught that class?
No, because another kid in my class who told me this. This was like
Okay.
another like teenager. So I didn't do any. He goes, I looked into it, it's like $400. Like you should do it. And I'm like, my parents aren't going to give me $400 to take comedy classes. So, but I wonder how different everything would have been if I went like at 17, 16 for comedy classes.
You can't. You might have quit. You
Yeah,
might have done it at 17 and been like, "That's the worst experience of my life. I'm never doing it again."
Yeah, I think it was definitely Danny Eagle classes because that's when he was there. So I just don't know.
He would have been running it, but the guys, because I did take the Carolines class. That was my first entry into comedy, and a guy named Mike Irwin was teaching it.
Well, I remember there was another class that only had the graduation. Was the guy with the bunny ears? You know the guy with the bunny ears?
No.
Steve something, and he had a boombox.
No.
He taught a comedy class. It was like the American Comedy. It was the American Comedy Institute.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And he would close all his shows, and he had bunny ears and a boombox.
Yeah, that's how you know you're getting ripped off. That's when the guy taking your check has bunny ears, like
and a boombox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boombox is fine. I'm running with the boombox go, but the bunny ears, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, and I sometimes watch his act because he had the Saturday early show, and I'd say to the waiters or the other manager, why does he have bunny ears? And we still couldn't figure it out. But he had bunny ears for his act. And his suit. Nice suit.
Just think about think of how good of a salesman he would have been in any other field. He convinced you to hand over money and he was wearing bunny ears.
Yeah.
Imagine if he was wearing a suit. You would have bought a timeshare. You would have bought stock.
I think that guy should book Subway shows. You could probably get some headliners to do it.
Oh, come on, they're not shows. That's just...
I know that's shows.
They're not. You're on a subway train. No one volunteered to be on that in that audience.
And also, it's one of the most dangerous places I think you can do comedy in. I think.
Yeah, of course, dangerous, but no one voluntarily wanted to do this. I've never been on the subway and seen an entertainer and been like, "Oh, I'm so lucky to partake in this mariachi band." I've never felt that way. I've always been like, "This is the worst."
Yeah, it's like now I can't hear my own music, and I have to put it up to blaring volume just so I don't hear the mariachi band. Yeah.
Oh boy, when I hear it's showtime, I'm like, "Where's the exit? I gotta get out of here now."
The other thing is I wonder they've gotten so close to kicking me in the face when they've done their fucking flips. I wonder if they ever actually kick somebody in the face.
Yeah, but who's gonna say something?
I know, you just get kicked in the face.
It's gonna be like, "Sir, where's your insurance? I'd like to speak to you about this interview."
Where is your manager?
Yeah.
Ryan, what was your childhood like? How were you as a kid?
I was a fat kid with not a lot of friends and 2 older sisters.
Okay. So you didn't go out much?
I didn't make any friends until I want to say 9th grade.
Okay. Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, man. Things weren't going well.
So what did you do? What were you into, TV shows besides stand-up or movies?
That's why I won't let you go, Ray. You're my only friend.
It's down to me?
That's it. I met you and that's it.
Since 2004. Jesus. Okay, well then I'm not leaving. I'll definitely get you a backyard show now. I got it. You're my only friend.
TVs, movies. I was a big into that. Loved it. That was
What were some of your favorites?
TGIF? Are you kidding me? Friday Night Block, fantastic. There's some. There was a show called Hammer that was pretty good.
Yes, nobody talks about that. Sledgehammer.
Yeah, it wasn't on very long, but it was a great show. It was
only on 2 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great show. I just loved it all. I was really infatuated with must-see TV was definitely a part of my life. I remember when In Living Color came on and how it just blew everything away. Just changed everything.
That still's been on Sunday Night Live. I will stand by that.
Completely. And the musical, it was amazing to me to see Criss Cross on there, and then the next day, just everyone wearing their clothes backwards. The next day! And I was like, what? Who makes that?
It's so funny, but it's been 30 years now, maybe 32 years, 31 years since it's debuted, but it still seems more hip than Saturday Night Live in 2021.
Well, they took no chances. That's what it is. Instead of I feel like SNL's defending their title as opposed to someone trying to knock them off.
Yeah, but no show ever had Mad TV or even I love the Chappelle Show, but no show kind of had this dangerous feel. It almost felt like these guys are a bunch of lunatics putting on a show. This is a street party.
Totally. Mad TV was pretty good. I mean, I thought some of their sketches were really kind of edgy. They did.
Oh yeah, the sketches were good. Yeah.
they did like a Terminator movie trailer, but with Jesus, like the
Oh
Terminator.
yes.
Terminator sent back in time to save Jesus. Like it's
Did you ever see the Sopranos for PAX TV sketch?
no. What's that one?
That's like the Sopranos is now going to air on. You remember PAX TV?
Yeah.
PAX TV was like for a couple of years was a super religious network channel. The Sopranos is going to air on PAX TV, edited for content, and it's like a 2-minute episode. It's like Tony being like, "Where's the gabagool?" And then it cuts to the next scene. You fat, you cook, like, and they'll thank you for watching the Sopranos on PAX TV.
I'm gonna have to watch that later.
Yeah, it's great. It's so funny. What were you into cartoons, or were you not a cartoon guy?
Saturday morning cartoons.
Okay.
You know, but then also like DuckTales was really good. Gargoyles was a lot of fun. There were but Gargoyles got like way heavy into like Shakespeare. Like the narrative became very complicated. Like you had to know Shakespeare characters to really understand.
Yeah, it's to this day, and you know me. I think you can see Spider-Man behind me. I still never seen Gargoyles, and all of my friends were like, "How the fuck are you into all this shit, but you've never seen Gargoyles?" And I'm like, when that came out, I was in a period where I was more into reading. It was like 2 years where I tried to be an adult.
I never had that problem. That was never a concern.
But people are very upset I've never seen Gargoyles. But I hear nothing but great things from everyone across.
You know what? It got really just very heavy. Like it was a very simple thing, like gargoyles that come to life. It's a throwback from like the Middle Ages. That was the whole thing. Other in modern time, that was it. But then they brought in these new characters. They brought in Macbeth, and you were like, okay, now it's really getting heavy. Like they brought in Shakespearean characters, and like you needed. That's why I think I really started liking it, is because you had to know the characters from Shakespeare to even understand like the plot lines.
Yeah, that's so deep. That's the thing they should bring back for Disney Plus, because I feel like people would be all over it, because people talk to me about Gargoyles all the time. I mean, even before like being a nerd was cool, like even like in the early 2000s, like people would bring up Gargoyles, and I've just never seen it. I probably should watch it, but I mean, there's a million things I have to watch at this point. I thought I was gonna watch everything I've ever wanted to watch in this pandemic. I've watched not that much television during this pandemic. I don't know about you.
It's weird. I used to be more addicted to TV.
Mm-hmm.
And now I almost feel like I'm in a bad marriage. I'm
With
like,
TV?
what, are you even trying anymore? Like I'm so mad at it.
Oh yeah, but Netflix, I'm not a fan of. I don't know why. Every time I see something on Netflix, I feel like it's lesser than. I don't know why. That's weird. Like TV shows, not like specials and stuff.
There's a movie I watched last night. I Care Too Much, or I Care.
Yes, I heard everybody talking about that, but some comic, JP Justice spoiled the ending, so I can't.
Oh, that makes sense. I could see JP spoiling the ending.
Yeah, he wrote fuck this, and he spoiled the ending, and I was just, I never see this movie. So
why? I don't get. I like movies and TV so much. I've heard this before. I can sit down in the middle of something and watch it, and I go, I don't mind. I'll catch another time. I'll watch another.
Well, without spoiling it, there's a twist, right, in the movie?
Yeah, but what I'm saying though is I know people that won't watch a movie unless they can watch the whole thing, or like if they see the ending, they don't want to watch it anymore. Like I can watch a movie from any point, and if I've missed the beginning, I'll just come back later and watch the whole thing again. Like
I used to be like that, but then like what changed for me was Pulp Fiction. I had like a bunch of my friends see Pulp Fiction before me, and they sat in school and told me about the whole movie. I was like, this sounds amazing, and then I watched it, and I've never been in love with Pulp Fiction like I have with other movies, so I kind of went in blind. Because like I feel like a lot of Pulp Fiction is you're not supposed to know what happens next. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like he's preying on your expectations, then subverting them. And if you are expecting the unexpected, it's kind of like it kind of just drags out. You're like, all right, when is Bruce Willis going to stab this guy with a sword? You know what I mean? Like it just kind of drags out rather than like, oh, this is so awesome, building tension. You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I guess so.
So yeah, so I never had this. I tried to be in love with Pulp Fiction, and then like one day I admitted like I got fucked with this movie. It's like fucking a girl after your friend fucked her. Like 2 minutes later, I got fucked with it. So
yeah, that's also never been a problem for me, Ray. I've never I've never been like, I remember you were with. I'm like,
no, 2 minutes later. 2 minutes later, I'm saying like he just left the room. He's wiping his penis off.
I think it's one of those blind ignorance things. You know what I mean? Like you have to kind of convince yourself not to pay attention to the danger.
Yeah, and then the other thing is like, there's so many movies where people have been like,
You ever get a hot dog off the street? You got to convince yourself this is safe. This is a good idea. This is fine. I'm sure he's up to health code standards. It's on wheels.
Yeah, or when you go into a Wendy's or a KFC, I'm sure there's no rats.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, you just got to go. No, everything looks on the up and up.
Yeah. I've heard so many fucking horror stories about Chipotle. I don't think I can ever eat it again. I mean, just
Anywhere.
every fucking stories about Chipotle. Calm down. So you saw Toy Story 4 for the podcast. Now, you had never seen the other Toy Story films, right?
I mean, I might have seen the first one. Like, I get the gist of it.
Okay. So what do you think of Toy Story 4?
I've probably cursed your name a few times having to sit through this thing. Just like, God, now two grown men got to watch a child's movie and just sit here on the internet and talk about it. Like, as if being a comedian wasn't a nut kick enough. Now I got to be like, no, Toy Story 4. No, I don't have kids. But what it's you know what it is? Your opinion seeps into your art.
Okay.
Can't help it. No matter what you do, if you're a painter, if you're a comedian, if you're an editor, your opinion seeps into your art. Now, I say that because the cartoons I like, which are the early Warner Brothers ones, were written and created by World War II veterans.
Yeah.
So like they had like Pepe Le Pew is Pepe Le Pew because the guys making the cartoon did not like French people. So they were like, nah, all the French stink. Like that's why Pepe Le Pew is Pepe Le Pew. So watching this film, I was kind of looking for that because I know adults are making it, even though it's for kids. But what do you think the subtext of this film is? What did you take away from it?
I think the subtext is eventually you have to go live your own life, which is what Woody did. Woody was like beholden to these children, and then he went off into his own life.
Yes, but so now think about the person writing this. What angle are they writing it from?
Well, to appease the kids.
No, that's not what I took from this. I took from this just parents that were too involved in their kids' lives and their kids left, and now they feel useless.
That's fucking brilliant. Yes.
All it is. Mm-hmm. Oh, he went off to college? Yeah, you helicopter mom. He went off to college.
That's fucking great because the first three movies are about this kid growing up and letting the toys go, and then they go to this new little girl, Bonnie. And when they ended 3, it's like, well, that's it. I saw 3 in theaters. I'm like, that's it. It's over. There's gonna be no more Toy Story.
In theaters.
Yeah.
Wow. Was that a couple of Amber Alerts when they saw you walk in?
Dude, no, I asked a girl out, and she said, I want to see Toy Story 3. And I said, okay, I'll take you. And when we went there were no kids in the theater. It was all people. She was 21. I was 29. Or maybe she was 20. There were all people between 20 and 32 in the theater, which was fucking insane.
Well, I mean, you got to think about when I think back to the cartoons we used to watch, and by the way, these are written by adults, probably for themselves and also for children, but like, you know, our cartoon characters would like kiss what they think is a woman and it would be a bomb and it would blow up in their face. I'm like, That's life. Guess what? Things are going to blow up in your face.
Yeah.
But this is all like, oh, everyone's actually good. No one's evil. I'm like, nah.
Yeah, there was no bad guy in this. Like the girl doll.
Yeah.
Actually wound up being not a bad person. And it's like, no, I like bad guys in my movies. The other Toy Story films had bad guys.
Well, they were doing like, this is so over the top that everyone's actually got good in them. And even though she wanted to rip out Woody's voice, you know, she was coming from a place of her own desperate need. It's like, yeah, no kidding. Everyone's got their own motivations, but it's how you go about it.
Yeah. But just so everyone knows the plot, if you haven't seen Toy Story 4 yet, Woody is not really beloved by Bonnie, which kind of negates the ending of 3 because Woody fought to get to Bonnie, but whatever. The Bonnie makes her own toy that comes to life. Woody meets Bo Peep, who the reason why she wasn't in part 3 was she went missing. Bo Peep convinces him to live his own life, and eventually he does, but he gets Sporky back into Bonnie, and Woody goes off to basically have sex as a homeless person for the rest of his life.
I mean, I just don't. Could you imagine? Like, I'm just watching this thing, and I'm just thinking, like, if my kid's hugging a spork, and all these toys I spent money on are just sitting there, I'd be like, are you kidding me? You made me buy all that junk and you're hugging a spork?
Yeah. those parents have a ton of money, and the sport thing. I mean, as a kid, I would once you make a project, you're kind of proud of it. But I got all those projects real quick when I got a new fucking Superman figure. You know?
Oh God, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
G.I. Joe. Forget it, man. Forget
yeah.
it.
This girl was like a little. I think she might have some issues. The fact that she likes her spork so much.
Yeah, it was. I mean, but obviously they got to create a narrative, and everyone's just, oh yeah, spork.
Well,
Sure.
here's an interesting thing I thought. So the sport came to life. So that means any if they're a toy in any way, they're alive. So do you think in that universe the sex toys are
I
alive?
knew you were going there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel good about two grown men talking about Disney movies bringing up sex toys. I just feel like,
Well, are they alive? When the owner like, that was horrible. You keep shoving me in there. I gotta get a new career.
I think you're outgrowing Disney.
Well, yeah, but no, because it brings up some interesting, like I don't know, just what constitutes coming to life and what is just an inanimate object. You know, when he was a spork, he was inanimate. You put like two eyes, and now he's like a living, breathing creature. That's kind of fucking insanely creepy and weird.
Yeah, I think they get voting rights next year.
I think they do. What do you think of Keenan and Kel's characters? I thought they were the best part of the movie.
Oh, well, yeah. Anytime someone can just play a quick drop in character and
Mhm.
doesn't have to carry the plot, they're always the funnest.
Yeah, I really thought they were fun. I like when they were trying to plot out how to get the keys from the old woman, and one of their plans was just straight up beating the crap out of the old woman, which I thought was really funny.
Well, it's elder abuse, but like I guess we're looking the other way on that.
Listen, I don't know. I don't expect elder abuse to be used as humor for Disney. So when they do it, I'm like, all right, let's do this.
I mean, I don't. It was fantastic. I give it 2 thumbs up. It's a perfect date movie. If you got a girl, bring her to Toy Story 4.
I actually also saw this in theaters too, just so you know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love the movies. I used to like. I tell you what. I've seen a Disney movie in a New York City movie theater. I want to say '05 when things were still a bit rough.
Okay, what'd you see?
Hildago.
Okay, well that's more of like that's an adult Disney movie.
Well, so it's a PG movie, and my roommate at the time is this wonderful comedic actor named Kyle Overstreet, Shelby Overstreet. He's from Texas.
Okay.
So we were hanging out at Brother Jimmy's. We had a couple of drinks, and we wanted to go to the movies. I love movies. And I go, "You want to see Hildago? It's like PG." And he's like, "What? About a man and his horse? Yes, I do." So we go to this movie, and it's empty, right? It's kind of empty. It's on the Upper East Side, and we're watching the movie, and we hear a guy behind us, and he's like way too impressed with the movie. Like when a dissolve happens, he's like, "Hollywood." Hollywood. He's like blown away by like these very minimal effects.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow, without me and Kyle talking, we figure Disney movie. This guy's talking very slow. He's probably maybe not all there. Maybe he's a little bit, touched. So we just didn't know. So we just, like I felt bad. I wasn't going to say anything. So Kyle goes to the bathroom and he comes back. And we hadn't discussed this. And he's all excited. And he's like, hit me in the arm, hit me in the arm. And I think he wants to point to this guy behind us, right? And I'm like, I know, dude, it's not a great situation. Like, I feel bad. I got annoyed. And I'm like, listen, I think he might be not okay. And Kyle goes, no, he's hammered. He had like a bit of whiskey. He was just getting completely banged down this movie by himself. Yeah, he wasn't mentally incapable. He was just hammered, just like Hollywood. And we just thought he was slow.
That is hilarious. Do you think that the movies, like I know they're reopening tomorrow here in New York, do you think the movie theater experience is gonna return, or do you think people are just been spoiled by Amazon and Netflix? I know you believe comedy is going to return full force, but
I think comedy is going to return full force. I think restaurants are going to return full force, depending on how many people are in New York. I think movies are a tougher sell because they already had some issues with the theater being clean, and in New York there were a lot of homeless people in movie theaters, and then it was like bed bugs and other stuff. So like that thing, that might be on people's mind, but I don't think it's going to be the health issue because planes are open.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a health issue. I think it's going to be a price issue where it's like,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I just like Disney Plus. You have every movie. Like if you have a kid, you have every movie at your disposal. Or you go to the theater and spend over $100 to see a movie your kid might fucking zone out at.
I was gonna say, Disney Plus should have been called. You don't really want to talk to your kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Just put this on and leave the room.
Put it on, wait till they reach puberty, and then you'll see them again.
Uh-huh.
Ryan, I'm sorry?
I was agreeing with you. That's a good point in that, the price thing, like for $20 or is it how much are movies now?
Yeah, before the end of the world. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So guess what? I'll sit on my couch and I'll get my food and I'll feel comfortable rather than go to a movie theater and like, it's too expensive. If it was like $7, $10, I'd be like, yeah, why not? But $20 to see movies that are garbage.
Yeah, and it's like now I have a 4K TV and a sound bar now, and I'm like, like some of these movies are just as good at my home now, the way that my screen looks. Then
I would argue that because the quality of movies has gotten so bad, it's not justifying the price. So, for example, when you think back to seeing like Indiana Jones in the theater, that was an event. Like people lined up to get in that stupid movie theater, and like the sound and the right, like it was just so big. It was just so like, this is amazing. And now everything just sucks. Like I saw Tom Hanks's Letters News of the Day.
Oh yeah.
Terrible. They're lying to you. They're lying. I read every review and people were like, oh, the shots were amazing. And I'm like, yeah, if you're talking about the shots, that means everything else sucks. Yeah. You're paying attention to the bush in the background. That means everything sucks.
Oh,
how do you know Western? It's a Western. He doesn't kill anyone. It's boring.
He doesn't kill anyone?
I think he might accidentally kill one person. Like it's a Western.
That's the thing. Like all these movies that got delayed and they put them out on streaming services, whether it was George Clooney's movie or they've all been garbage. It's like, look, 2020, if there was no pandemic, would have been a horrible year for movies regardless. Like these movies are just bad.
I don't get it. It's like, do you want to see Mr. Rogers in a Western? This is your movie. That's what it is. And he's like dragging some kid around the country. And I'm like, yeah, you need the kid. Got to teach the kid right from wrong. It's like, God.
Oh yeah, they had George Clooney dragging a kid in his outer space film. And it just, I was falling asleep the whole fucking time.
But in the West, like no one's cuddling a child. Like, I just don't. All right, whatever, fine. Tom Hanks just wants to make the same movie over and over again.
He really does. I really would have loved to have seen him play more villains, and he never plays a villain.
He never plays anything fun anymore. I mean, this is a guy that was in Bachelor Party.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point, too. Yeah, do some comedies.
Yeah, they killed a donkey from cocaine in Bachelor Party, and he's not, he was in Splash. He did some different things. Now it's just the same. He gives some long speech about how I want to be remembered as not the man I was. And it's like, oh my God, shut up.
Everything is a period piece with him, I feel.
Yeah, but I don't think he even gets that right. Like,
yeah. Bridge of Spies. Wasn't there one where he's on a submarine that came out recently?
Yes, that's on but that's on a specific. Is it on Apple TV?
Apple TV, which means it never
sold it for like $70 million to like Apple TV or something ridiculous like that.
I don't even know anyone who has Apple TV. I know like they just put out a Tom Holland movie that's supposed to be good, but it's like I'm not paying for Apple TV. I'm paying for enough shit. Enough of this crap.
Road to Perdition. That was another movie where he drags a kid around the country. That's in the 20s or the 30s.
Yeah, Road to Perdition. Catch Me If You Can. He's chasing a kid around the country. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes. That would. I mean, at least that seemed a little bit fun. Like, but that's Leo. Like.
He's just chasing a kid. Where would you rank this Toy Story 4 and Tom Hanks' all-time movies? You think it's one of his best movies, or you're like, give me a break?
I mean, they're just good for him. He's waving in the money. I mean, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, I think he makes more money off this than he does anything else he does.
Why wouldn't you? He doesn't even have to leave his house. I'm sure they just set up a voice studio in his house, and he just reads the lines or whatever.
Oh man, Ryan, where can people, if people want to look you up on social media, where can people find you? You
can find me on Instagram at RR Comedy. That's where I guess I post things.
Are you posting videos and stuff?
I post stuff. I don't know what I post. I prefer to write jokes and observations and photos and stuff like that. I don't know. Do I have to start producing stuff? Oh God.
I've seen some comedian TikToks and I'm like, this is so much work. I don't.
Yeah, it is. It really
At
is.
the
But I mean, that's
time.
what they want to do. Like, good for them. Like, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know. You know, I don't know, Ray. I'm sitting here talking to you about Toy Story 4 on your Disney podcast. Clearly, I don't have the answers.
Well, people love this podcast. They like hearing different comedians comment
I
on.
I guarantee you this podcast has a following. Like, it's
Yeah, because you're never gonna hear. Although he wasn't a guest for this, but you're never gonna hear David Tell talk about Treasure Island. You're never gonna hear it.
I kind of want to hear David Tell talk about it. You know, that's one guy I do want to hear talk
Yeah,
about.
see, that would be yeah. So like, yeah, because nobody who is gonna say to David Tell, I need to interview you, and you're like, well, about what? About the 1954 classic Treasure Island. Can you please meet with me? Not about
Wow,
your stand-up.
that's a big ask.
I know, but I'm just saying, like I wouldn't ask him to do that, but people, I guarantee you, people will be interested.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. Well, you know, he's the best of all of
Have
us.
Louis C.K. break his silence and talk about Muppets Take Manhattan. I mean,
Oh man, we got to get you out of that house, Ray. We gotta do something.
we got all the newspapers. Louis C.K. is back in the public eye. What's he doing? He's talking about Muppets Take Manhattan. Like, wait, what?
How many listeners do you have? You have a lot of
What?
listeners. You have a lot of listeners.
Yeah. It depends on the movie, but yeah. Yeah, I
What
have.
was your biggest movie?
The I couldn't believe it. Treasure Planet with Tom Eshelman. It got about 5,000 downloads.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 2002 animated film. I didn't know who I asked Tom Eshelman because I like Tom Eshelman. You ever met him?
Yeah.
Okay, I asked him because like I like talking to him, and I'm like I don't know who to interview for this movie. It's a weird fucking movie. We did the episode, and it became my biggest episode of all time.
What is the? What do you think Disney's darkest movie is?
Oh, Black Cauldron. I mean animated because I haven't done the live action films, but Black Cauldron by far is their darkest. And so is Hunchback of Notre Dame, the '96 version. There's a song that's basically about date rape in the song. Yeah. It's really dark. He's like, if you don't, it basically part of the song is if you don't fuck me, I'm gonna kill all the gypsies in France. Like that's the song. He doesn't say it in those words.
Are you sure you weren't reading into it a little too far?
No, he says, give in to me or you'll be, and he throws like a doll into fire. Give in to me or you'll be facing hellfire. You know.
Well, I got to catch up on my Disney. Apparently, it's a little more scandalous than I thought. It's a little more Game of Thrones.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, that's very dark, and so's Black Cauldron. So there's been a few dark ones. Now they don't do dark anymore. They don't take chances. They're too corporate. But the newer ones, like this movie,
no one takes chances.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no one takes chances anymore.
No one takes chances. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you enjoy, it's your first time listening to this, whether you're a fan of Ryan Reiss or just Toy Story 4, I've covered every movie from Snow White to Frozen 2 and all the Pixar films. Next week, we're doing Onward with comedian from Long Island, Tim Thompson. What's up?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
If you liked anything I have to say, don't watch News of the Day. It's a terrible movie. Tom Hanks owes me $20.
Guys, subscribe to me on iTunes, Goots' Disney Pod, and follow me on Twitter or Instagram, Ray Goots. I just post, and follow me on Facebook. That's where I post all my rantings. I'm sure Ryan knows.
I do. Big fan.
Big fan. Guys, we'll see you next week with Onward.